Good morning, everybody. I don't know if you'll be interested in this or not, but doing a little bit of work on the Polaris. Been doing a lot of work on it, but today the job is putting in new CV boots. Hopefully you can see that's torn. That's supposed to be connected, not torn open like that. And hopefully that's all that's wrong with it, is just the boot. But the other side seems okay. We gotta do both of the front outers. All I've done so far is take the wheel off, take the cotter pin out, and you gotta take this little rubber thing off before you take the cotter pin out. So, give you some updates along the way. Well, one side down, and it was a little different than what they said on the videos, but hey, figured it out. My buddy's here helping me. Started on side 2. So I don't know, what is it, almost 9 o'clock. I don't know what time we started, but making good progress. This one, torn just as bad as the first one. Luckily, the inner boot is still good, so I don't have to replace it. That looks terrible, doesn't it? Oh my gosh. Good thing it's supposed to do that. I didn't know that first when I had the first tire off. I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm gonna have to replace the whole front end, the bearings, and blah blah blah. No. Yeah. The bearing's right on that, and the shaft just sits inside there, so it wobbles when that part's not connected. It's scared the crap out of me. Alrighty, you can see all that stuff right there? That come out from down here. Just all bunched up all around everything down here, so I kind of blew it out. Anyways, there's an update. Maybe I'll get a video when I got it over on the bench, taking it apart. Alright, I got that out of there, but I want y'all to see something. This is not easy. Okay, just bear with me here. Hopefully they don't fall. I'll watch out for me. All right. Oh, yeah, come out easy that time since y'all are watching. Goodness, been over here for like 5 minutes trying to get that thing out of there. Whew. All right, next video. All right, you gotta remove these CV, clamps. I just removed this one, and I tell you what, this little tool right here, it's a pain in the butt till you figure out how to use it. Once you figure out how to use it, it works really good. But here's what you gotta do. You gotta put that down on here and make sure it's flat. Give it a little squeeze, and see that band pop? It's off. Come right off. Now, what I found out, the little kits that I got, race driven, come with the boot, they come with clamps. I'm reusing these clamps. These are really hard for me to try to figure out to use, and I don't think they're as good as these. So these are reusable. I'm gonna reuse them. All right. Now this, like I had to yank and yank and yank to get this off. That's because it has this little keeper right here that's up in there. This one has the same thing, so I have to use my dead blow and beat it off of there. So once I get that off, I'll show you. Oh, and one more thing, forgot to tell you. These are going in the garbage. So cut them off. Once you get these cut off, it makes it easier to get this off. Be right back. All right, so I got it wiped some of the grease off and hammered it off. Oh, it took like 2 whacks this time. But you can see that little retainer clicks in here. Now, these boots have been torn for a while. They were actually kind of dry rotted and cracked. So it was important to check out the joint to make sure that it's still okay, that you don't need a whole shaft, that you just need the boots. And I just needed the boots. So I'll get this cleaned up. You don't have to clean all that grease out of there, but I clean up quite a bit of it because again, the kit comes with some good CV grease. And then I'll kind of cover that in a little bit. Alright, now if any of you have ever packed bearings before, I'm going to pack this with the aid of the shaft itself. So I want to make sure I got good coverage. So what I'm going to do is feel, and this is difficult with one hand. I'm going to fill this area right here with grease, and then I'm going to stick it on here, and it'll shove the grease down and back around. I'll have to do that twice. I did it twice while ago on the other shaft before grease starts coming out of here. Once grease comes out of here, stop, and then use the remainder of the grease in the pack and squeeze it up in here. Put it together, and then slide this on without getting grease on here. That's the most difficult part. And don't get it on here. Now, I don't know this from experience, but one of the videos I was watching, a guy said, hey, if you get grease on here, it could, when you turn real tight, because this is the front end, when you turn real tight, it could lubricate this to the point where this would slip off. I'm like, well, it makes sense. Whether it would happen or not, it makes sense. So make sure that's good and clean. Be back. All right, now to show you what I mean by grease coming out. I'm going to push this on. Watch, what in the world? Watch right in here, okay? Right in here. Oh, I'm going to have to get the hammer. See grease coming out? That's what we want to see. Now, once it quits going on, it's on. It's not coming off. Okay? So now, the difficult part. Fill that area with grease. And don't get it on here. And don't get it in here. Be right back. Alright, back at the Polaris. Got the CV boot back on. A guy was watching, kind of help educate myself a little bit on this. Said, hey, put grease on here so it makes it easy when you need to take this off. And I'm like, okay, well that makes sense. And it had something on it. If you can see, it looks somewhat like grease. It's got this silver tint to it, but this is all crusty, like it's old. Okay, so I'm gonna do a little experiment because that doesn't look like grease to me. Okay, I'm gonna put a little bit of grease on here because that's where it's on this bearing. But this part back here, right there, was this part, and it was all rusty crusty. Okay, so it had a bunch of surface rust on it, so I got it to the wire wheel and cleaned it up. On the other side, I put grease on this side and on that side. I think on this one, I'm gonna do something a little different. I got me some copper-based anti-seize from Loctite. This stuff is amazing. This will keep it from rusting. This will keep it from sticking together. It's somewhat lubricating. So we'll try this. The other side's greased. This side is Loctite. Do a trial if I ever have to take these things off again. Alright, this is a trick how to get it back in there. So I'm gonna you guys up here again, because it goes in as hard as it came out. Now, you guys saw that it was easy, but I've been working on that for a little bit. All right. Unwrap the hole. Seems like it's somewhat there. Dead blow. There we go. They got it. Easier than it looked. All right. Y'all need to watch all the boring parts. Just putting it back together. Oh, and I found out when I was taking this one apart, I got a little bit of, I don't know if that's coming through on camera. Yeah, you can see it move a little bit. That one doesn't move. So, we're getting ready for a trip to Colorado. That's not critical, but it is something I'm going to want to fix. I don't know if they make bushing pieces to replace this or what, or if I have to get the whole new A-arm, but I'll figure that out. All right, all back together. Let's see if you can see this a little better now. If you can't see it, you can probably hear it. Yeah. Anyways. It's all back together. That's the brake here, not a bearing. All right. Success. Got 2 new boots on the front. Got a new seat. Got a new wiring harness. New radio. But we don't have the speakers yet. We got a new ignition key. You can probably see the new wires and stuff. There's new stuff under here. Lots of cleaning. Lots of cleaning. Next job. Cracked and torn inner and outer boots. Inner and outer on the back. But I don't know if these are going to be easier or harder. Anyways, that's next job. You can see this one's flinging grease. Well, I'm not even pointing at it. This one's flinging grease. It just tore on us the other day. I gotta tell you about this thing. So a dear friend of ours, this was his. And he passed away suddenly. I think it's been almost 2 years ago now. And this is set out outside, not touched since then. So I got it and have decided to fix it up, and we're taking it to Colorado. This got a lot of memories in this one. Got a lot of memories. I'm gonna post this on Facebook, and this guy's family is friends with me on here, and they'll see this, and hopefully they see I'm taking care of it. I'm fixing it up. She's running like a dream since I did the wiring harness and a couple other engine things that I had to do, a new fuel pump. It is, we ran so far, let me see. I mean, yeah, what number you see on here has been reset at, so you can add another like 13 miles onto that. 13 or 15 miles. So let's say we're at 90 miles. And dude, look at that. Half a tank of fuel, 90 miles. This thing sips fuel. Sips fuel. And it has a governor on it at 50. We found that, which this thing is not designed to go 50 miles an hour. Oh my gosh, it gets squirrely at that speed. But 40, 45, it does just fine. Larissa and I went for a 4-hour drive yesterday, and all those miles you see on there, minus 13 came from yesterday. So we went about 60 miles yesterday. Had a little bit of problems in the beginning, but came back to the house real quick, got them straightened out, and now it's running better than I've ever seen it run. It's doing fantastic. Anyways, glad to see it running. Oh yeah, I bought tires and rims for it. Bought these used Maxxis. Got really good tread on them. Paid $60. Rims and tires. 60 bucks. The brand new seat, that's like $350, $400 seat. I had to drive all the way to the other side of Fort Worth, so 2.5 hours each way. Went yesterday to get that, 150 bucks. 150 bucks. Look on Facebook, shop on eBay. Find these deals. The parts are out there, and I'll tell you from my standpoint, if I'm getting rid of something and I don't need any more, I'm not trying to make $100 on it. I just want to get somebody a good deal, make it worth my time jacking with it, and let somebody else get utilization out of it. I can tell you, soon, that Kawasaki is going to go. I'm going to get rid of it. We've got what was parked over here. Those that know me, we got a vehicle that transmission went out on it, but the vehicle itself is amazing. Beautiful interior, beautiful exterior, but the transmission went out. Well, the vehicle is not worth, in our opinion, because it was Michael's and he's got his ride here now. He doesn't really care for it. We're gonna let that go real cheap because we don't need it. So let somebody else use it. But anyways, I ramble. I like working and tinkering on this thing here. It's easy. It's easy. You can see all of my stuff. I got to tinker with all my stuff. My truck, it's going in the shop on Tuesday. My car, oh, I love my car. That's my $500 Crown Vic. It had 64,000 miles on it when I got it. Oh, $500. It's an amazing car. Gets like 22 to 25 miles a gallon. This car pulled that trailer with a Yamaha Rhino on it all the way to Tennessee up in the mountains for Larissa and I to go on a ride. Oh, that was fun. That was a fun trip. And you think, oh man, I went from 25 miles a gallon down to, I think it was 14 or 15 miles a gallon. All the way there and back. And it's like, cut my fuel economy in half. But my big behemoth, my big baby over here, I love my truck. But if I'd have drove that truck gets 13 miles a gallon on diesel, not pulling anything, much less putting a Rhino in the bed of it. So let's say I got 12 miles a gallon in diesel, so it would get worse fuel economy. Now, I do love my truck. It's comfortable. We get worse fuel economy, and the fuel costs more per gallon. So, Crown Vic. Yeah, baby. Have a good one.